The following episode of Dad vs. Daughter was made possible by a contribution from Board and Dice.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Dad vs. Daughter. I'm Tim the Dad.
I'm Megan the daughter.
Megan, see what shirt I'm wearing?
It's a train shirt.
It is a train shirt because we're playing a train game.
We are.
What train game is that?
We are playing Traintopia, and this is from Board and Dice.
Yeah, this is a tile laying game where we're also going to be drafting tiles. We're going to be placing those basically in our own rail network. We've got little commuter meeples that are kind of cool.
And tourists.
Tourists, mail bags where we're going to be able to double our points.
Yep.
And even little bullet trains. So check it out. We're each going to start off with a starting tile, and we know that it's a starting tile because it has a yellow border. Now there's 4 of those that are going to come with the game, and we'll just flip those over. Those are going to have basically a starting station. You'll see that I have one that has 2 starting stations. I have a blue and a red, and Megan's actually has both colors. She also has a tourist attraction that's going to be worth 2 points for any tourists that might be on that line. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. We also each are going to start with a goal card. Now you can see this is the one I have. If I am able to complete this part of the goal, then I'm going to get this many victory points at the end of the game. Now we have 4 tiles laid out here because at the start of the game, you're going to do a little draft. So we have player aid cards, and one of those has a conductor on them. I've shuffled those up. Megan, would you like to choose?
Not the first player.
Megan did not choose first player. I have the first player, so I'm going to be able to choose first. But let's talk about what you're going to be able to do in your turn. You're going to be able to draft a map tile, and or you can draft one of the wooden elements, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about our round card. And then you can add the drafted tile or either wooden element to your network, or you can discard it for 1 victory point. So there's always something that you can do. And you're going to be getting money throughout the game, and you can spend money in one of 3 ways. You can either use it to draw a new objective card. If you don't like the one you have, you can draw one, you get to compare them, and then you discard down to 1. You can use money to purchase a new bonus tile from the offer and add it to your network. Now, we are going to have 10 bonus tiles, and you'll see those laid out across the top up here. And those are always the same because they have a blue border to denote them from the other ones. The normal tiles do not have any border on them. And then lastly, we can use money to choose any color to score a commuter when we place them on that turn. So let's just say that we had a yellow commuter and we really wanted him to be a gray one. Then we could pay 1 and basically change his color. And then on the back of the player aid, it shows our final scoring because you're going to get points based on closed rail lines. If they have the same station color, you're going to get this amount of points. However, if you have one that's red and one that's blue, you're going to get these. And if you have any mailbags that are on that line, you get to double those points. Also, the trains and money are worth additional points, and then you're going to get points for who has the longest track. In a 2-player game, whoever has the longest is going to get 6 victory points, and second place gets 3.
So the trains only score you VP for how much money is currently unspent on the track.
Yes. So if you're going to go for trains, you probably don't want to spend money. However, it's been our case where we really don't add too many trains on there because it's usually worth more points in order to spend the money to change a commuter or to buy some of the bonus tiles. Now, the first player is also going to get the draw bag that's going to have the commuters, but we're going to start with 9 round cards, and I've already shuffled these. We're only going to play with 8 in a 2-player game, so 1 is going to be discarded. Up here we have new goal cards, and we also have an end of game bonus card here. So the little purple dude is a railway inspector. Essentially, he is going to act as a bonus commuter when we get to the end of the game. We have a train station that is both red and blue, so we can use that in order to get bonus points. We have a mailbag, and we have a train. So since I was the first player, what we're going to do is Megan gets to draft one of these tiles, and then I'll draft 2, and then Megan will draft another one. And as soon as we take a tile, we're going to add it to our network. I'll take that. And rules for placement are that you can never have a train track that dead ends into another tile. Now, of course, you can always have them on the open spots there. And you also don't have to have those be completely aligned. You can align them in a halfway position on a tile if you, as long as you're following the rules.
Yep.
And because Megan got a money token on her tile, she's going to immediately take one of those and place it on the tile, and she can spend that on a future turn. All right, so back to me. I think I'm going to take this.
Oh, really? That's how you're going to place it?
Yeah, I'm going to place it like that.
That's not how I thought you would. Okay. Thought you just connect those two up. But all right, do whatever.
Well, I could have.
All right, that just caps that one off right there.
Yeah. So we finished our preliminary draft. Oh, you got more money too. I don't have any money.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and flip that first round card. And this is going to tell us we're going to add 2 tourists. And then we're also going to add a commuter, or 2 commuters. So I'm going to draw those out of the bag. At the bottom part of the card, it's going to tell us, based on the player count, how many tiles we're going to put out. So in a 2-player game, we're going to draw 5. I'm going to draw 2 commuters out. I drew a gray and a green. And I think we're ready to play. So I am first player. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take, do I want this tile?
I don't know. You picked it up.
Yeah.
You must want it.
I'm going to take that one, and that has money on it.
Nice.
Money is always a good thing to have.
Let me take this one. Put it there.
I will take this tile.
And I'm going to take this one.
And I'm going to take this one and add it just like that.
Nice. I'm going to take the green little guy there.
Little guy?
Yep, and I have 1, 2, 3 green districts, so I'll get 3 points.
Yep. And just to quickly show you what those districts look like. In the case of this tile here, you'll see that it has 2 different districts. These districts are actually have all 3. So we have a gray district, a green district, and a yellow district, and the same over here. So when you're looking to score, you're going to look and see how many of those districts that train moves through, and based on the commuter, that's how many points you're going to score. Other tiles are going to have different tourist locations. So you can see we kind of have like a football stadium. It's worth 1 point, and then you have like a carnival, it's going to be worth 2. So when you add those tourists to this track, as long as these are basically adjacent to the track, then you're going to score points for the tourists.
There's also like a little river that's worth 3 points. It's a tourist destination. Or a lake, I guess. I don't know. Body of water. So I took the green. So it's back to you.
So the round is going to end when either we have only 1 item left, and that is a combination of the tiles and the wooden elements there. Wow. I really don't like any of those.
Yeah, because you needed yellow, really.
So I'm actually going to spend this money, and I am going to essentially make this gray commuter a yellow guy, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points.
Nice.
Let's see, there's 7. And victory points are never hidden.
I don't really want a tourist, so I'm going to take it out of the game for 1 VP.
Yeah, you always have that option. So.
And that's the last thing left.
So then he's basically going to go out of the game, and the bag will pass to Megan. We're going to flip a new round card here. She's going to pull 2 different commuters, and we're going to put a mailbag and a train on there. Now, the mailbags are going to allow you to double your points for your completed rounds, or your completed railway network. Yep. So.
And 5 tiles.
Yep.
So I'm first. I want this.
I'm going to take this tile because it's got money. And we like money. And
It's good to have.
and I need that little bit to go right there.
Nice. I'm going to spend money to take this piece so I can connect these two tracks. And then I'm going to I'll take this one. No. I'll take this one.
Can't get that real. There you go. All right, I think I will take this one.
Okay.
And we'll place that one right there.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a mailbag.
Ah! I knew you were going to do that.
Did you?
Yeah, I had a feeling. Now, I think I'm going to take this. And don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm not. No, I don't want
Why
to
are
do
you
that.
gonna do it?
I'm going to put it up here.
Okay. I'm gonna take the gray commuter. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gray districts. So 5 points.
Well, I've got a green guy left and no
green.
no green on there whatsoever.
Well, you could discard it for a VP, or you could take the train.
Well, I do have a money, so I could actually make him into actually a gray,
Yeah.
which would be kind of funny. He would give me 4 points. You know what? I am going to spend that money, and I'm going to take this,
Track.
and I'm going to place that right there.
Nice.
And then I'm just going to take that train and discard it out of the game and take a victory point.
Okay, so then that's the last element. Take that out. This goes away. Onto you.
All right.
So we need 1 from the bag, a tourist, a train, and a mailbag.
And we get a gray commuter. I'm going to take this tile
Okay.
and place it right there. And it's got a money token on it, so I'll add me some money.
I'm going to take this one. Nope. I'm not going to take that because it doesn't line up, so I'll take this one.
I'm going to take this one, place that there,
Nice.
and that has more money.
Now I'll take that one.
More money, more happy. I will take the mailbag because
Okay.
I have a feeling that
Yeah,
you might take that.
I might. I'll go ahead and take this for this one down here.
I'll take this tourist.
Okay.
So we're going to look and see which ones are adjacent to the tracks. So basically what you do is you just kind of follow the tracks along there.
Yeah.
Nothing here till we get to there. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Do you have a 1?
I do have a 1.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yep.
So would you like a gray? You're going to get rid of the train for a point?
Get rid of the train.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he is out of the game. And that ends that round. Pass the bag to Megan. Flip the new round card. So we're going to use 2 commuters, a train, and 6 tiles.
That's why it's kind of important to grab those mailbags while you can.
Yeah, you
They
just
don't
don't know
always
what's,
come up.
don't know what's coming out.
Okay, I'm going to buy this, which is going to go here. So I'm going to scooch this just a little.
I'm going to say you're encroaching in the middle there,
Well, it's growing, okay? So that was 1, my buy, and then I'm going to buy the butt.
Here, we're just going to...
There you go.
put those
Well,
like
that's
that.
as far as it's going to encroach. So there we go.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's a long route. But you don't get any more points, anything over 10.
Over 8.
Or 8.
8 tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 points if they're different butts. That's making
There
life
are
fun.
different butts. They're stations. They cap it off. It's a butt. And then look, I touch the butt.
You touch the butt.
Ha.
I think I will. Let's take this because that has more money.
Yeah, money's good.
Like to spend me some money.
That. Put it right there.
Yeah, I'm going to take this yellow commuter, and it doesn't matter that I've paid to make him basically yellow before, because his color is his color. So I can add him to this, and I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have a 10 over there?
Yeah.
I'll give you a 1.
There.
Thank you.
That seems like a cop.
Oh, that's all part of the game.
Yeah. I'll take this because it's got money.
Money gives you options.
It does. Oop, it goes over here.
Don't want that one. Yeah, I want this because I may need to make a hard turn.
I'll take this. Do you like a train? A green commuter? Or would you like a VP?
Yeah, I'm going to take a green.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and place him there. So that's the last. I could still put a train on there, but I've got 1, 2,
2,
3, 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
And that's the end of that. So that's going to go away.
That goes to you.
So we're going to put out 5 tokens or 5 tiles.
You need to pull 2 commuters. We get a tourist.
And we get the yellow and
green.
Green.
Nice. So you're first.
I am first. I'm going to take this one.
That was fast. You knew you wanted that.
Well, I need that to cap off, and that's got money, so
that's nice.
not bad.
Taking this one.
Well, that would be really short to take
Mm-hmm.
that. But you know what? I'm gonna take it because it'll slide perfectly right in there.
Now it's gonna be a little difficult on you having to get a certain train path there to correspond. Loop in that.
Maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
I'll take the mailbag then before you can. These are
Mailbags
hard to come by.
They're always good to have. I'm gonna spend money, and I think I'm gonna take this and place that.
Ooh.
I'm gonna place it like that.
Oh no, do you?
You know what? I am. I'm gonna place it like that.
Interesting.
And then I think I will.
What are you? Okay.
I don't want to move.
I don't know what you're
Yeah, over
doing.
here.
I was gonna say that
You know, I'm
looks
gonna
like
put
a
it-
better option.
I'm gonna put it there.
Yeah.
And then for my final trick, I'm gonna take a green commuter, and he is gonna score me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alright. I'm gonna take tourist for this line. So there's 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
11, right?
Well, that's not adjacent.
No, it's diagonal though.
Oh, so it would work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So 11. That was that? There are still... I was like, wait, there's only one thing left. I didn't see this on there.
Still have a couple tiles here.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I placed that illegally because that
You did. You did that.
that was a while ago.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna actually.
Oh. What are you doing?
I'm gonna move that. Is that okay?
Yes, you're already illegal.
I'm already illegal.
I don't know, man.
Not too many places I can put that. I can put it like this though.
I guess. Sure.
I'll just do that.
Okay.
Now
You've left that butt exposed.
the back. Oh, and you know what?
See?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's my fault for
Yeah.
not catching that earlier.
Yeah, it's to you.
Yeah, because I got the last one. I'm gonna pay a money, and I think I'm gonna take this one.
Okay.
And place that right like that. And then I'm gonna take this yellow commuter, pop him there. I'm gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4 points.
Nice. I don't really like either of those, so I'm just gonna bye-bye.
All right, so this tile is gonna go out.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the end, so go ahead and flip over a new round card. So we need 3 commuters. We need 1 tourist and 5 tiles.
One of each color. Ooh.
You got 2 stations there.
I have a couple more rounds left. Yeah, I'm gonna pay. I want this to go here, and then I'm taking the butt to go there, and I essentially get my money back.
Okay. Oh, you took one of those. Did you take it?
Yeah, I took those.
Okay. You took,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. You took the double butt.
Double butt.
And a double butt.
It's a double butt.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna put this one here, like so. Then I'm gonna spend a money, and I'm gonna buy this,
Okay.
so that I can connect those 2 up,
Nice.
just like that.
I take a green commuter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make that into 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this tourist, and I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. Another 10 handy.
Yeah, I can find one.
Trade these 2 in. Thank you.
Cool. I'm gonna take this one. Make that train go that way.
You were hanging on the edge there,
No,
kid.
no. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this gray commuter.
Nice.
I'm gonna put him here. So that's gonna score me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
I wish there were 5s.
Yeah, I do too. It's 1, 3s, 10s, and 50s. A little wonky, but it works. I'm gonna take the yellow commuter and drop him on this line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I guess I'll just take this one here.
All right. Can make
Except-
a little circle.
No, I don't want to do that. That one's not bad, or not good. I'll take this one here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then this one's out because it's the last.
Yep.
And
New round card.
this goes to you.
So we're going to put out 1 commuter, 1 tourist, a train, and a mailbag, and 5 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And the commuter we have is a gray.
There's a double putt. You're up first, though. You have 1 round left. Let's keep that in mind.
1 round remaining. 1 minute left in the period. Man, I miss hockey.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
yeah, I'm just gonna take it.
Yeah.
Put it there. I've got 1 money left to spend. Do I want to spend it?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Would you like to?
I think I will. I'm going to spend that money. And I'm going to take this and place this right here.
Okay. I'm gonna take this one. Put that there.
I'm going to take a mailbag. Place
Nice.
it on that track.
spend money, take this one, put that there. Actually, I don't want to do that. That was a bad idea. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, you ran into the same thing.
I was like, that didn't work out.
Well, you can take one of these and then buy one.
Maybe. I don't know. That one doesn't work well. This one, yeah, that one.
Plus, that one's got money.
Does have money. And then yeah, I'll go ahead use that to put this down. Like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, I'm gonna take this one, place it just like that.
Okay. And I'll take this.
All right, I'm gonna take this gray.
Maybe not.
Oh.
I can't take that. It won't fit.
Oh, okay.
So I'll take yours. You can still keep the gray.
All right, I'll take the gray.
But I'm gonna score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 from that.
Nice. So I'll take my gray commuter, and he's gonna score me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. I don't really like either of those.
All right.
Take it easy.
So final round, bag goes back to you.
Yep.
Last card, so we're gonna get 1 commuter, 1 tourist, and 6 tiles. Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta take this one.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's not gonna score me a lot, but.
See, now I'm at the point where all of my tracks are completed.
Yeah, that's the way mine are too.
So it's like, what do I really go for here?
Well, your tracks, well, for your longest track, you can score it even if it's not completed.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there's only.
I think you've probably got some that are.
I'll take yellow commuter, so that's 1, 2, 3 points.
I'm going to go ahead and take the tourist. I'm going to put him over here.
Nice.
It's going to give me 2, 3 points.
Actually,
That's all I'm going to
I'm
get.
going to take the train. Because I don't think I'm going to spend any more money. So.
Yeah, I should have held off. Because I could have got more points. Oh well. I'm just going to go ahead and take this and place that here.
Okay. I'll take that. I guess I'll just place that there.
And I'll take this one.
We've never came to this before in a game where we've both completed on the last round.
Yeah.
So that's that.
All right. So we are done. So now what we're going to do is we're not even to the final phase yet.
No.
We're going to look and see who has the least amount of points.
I think that's me. I don't know. You need to make some change. I have the least amount.
62.
Jeez.
What'd you have?
49.
So whoever has the least amount gets first choice at one of the bonus items.
Because you only get one.
You only get one. And the mailbags are only good for completed routes.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to take the mailbag. Because I don't have one on that route. And that's a good route.
And it is closed.
It's a closed route. It's a longish route. It should get some points. So yeah, you can take the other butt, a train, or a train.
Well, you know what? That would
inspector.
actually get me 4 points if I do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you close something off?
Because, well, let's see. 4 points, I can actually score more points by taking the inspector.
I was going to say, take the inspector.
Let's see,
Probably
because I
better.
can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I already know that's 9, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm going to take him. And I'll just plop him on this line there. And
As a what?
As I'm going to make him, he's basically going to be a yellow commuter. So 9 points, I'm going to throw a 1 in and take a 10.
Yep, okay.
All right, so now what we're going to do is we will add up our points off camera and then present the trophy. Okay, Megan ended up with 115 points,
Which is pretty good.
which is the same point total that we both had in our last game prior to this one.
Yeah.
I ended up with 121 points. And the real difference here was the fact that I had the longest route, which scored me 6.
I had 9 tiles.
Yeah, I had a 10-pointer, or a 10,
10
10
route.
length. Yeah. So Dad gets the trophy. So now let's get to what we think.
Since you are, I guess, the master train builder conductor.
I'm the engineer.
Yeah, there you go. I'll go ahead and let you start first.
So my first question is, are you not into trains? Which is the take on the Gladiator. You know, are you not entertained?
I was like,
Yeah.
I like train games, not as much as you do, but
Yeah. I like this game. This is a gateway game. It plays very fast, really.
and it's 2 player, especially. We were blowing by in some games. We're like, we're already on the last round.
Yeah. I like the drafting. I think, though, with more players, that's going to come in because you're going to have more options, but yet you're going to have more people taking things. So I really would like to see it played with more than 2. I do like it as a 2-player game. There's a good back and forth that we have with that. I like the commuters and knowing when to take them and add them on your lines because they're going to score immediately, and then you can't put another commuter of that same color unless you pay to turn basically one of the other commuters into that color. So I like that aspect. I like the mailbags, how that gives you a chance to double a line. I like that you get points for the longest route. I really wish that there were more of the round. Whoops, those are the gold cards. I wish there were more of the round cards because you only get 9 in the game. In a 2-player, you're using 8, so there's only 1 that we're not seeing. And then if you have more players, you're going to use all of them. So I would like to have seen more of those. I would have liked to have seen more gold cards too because there's not as many of those. You can pay if you don't like it. I mean, I was getting 5. I usually have the one that gives you 10.
Yeah, the one that has you gives you 10 is a max of 3 completed tracks.
Yeah.
There's 3 closed tracks, minimum of 1 track with each of the wooden elements. You get points if you have all of the different tourist destinations or all the commuters on the track. So there's some variety, but I mean, most of the points that you get from that are like 5 or 8 points.
Yeah, but I do like the concept. I think that's pretty neat. I like tile laying games, so this is kind of Carcassonne-like. I think if you like Carcassonne, you'd probably like this. It's just not as puzzly because you're pretty much working on your own board.
Well, it isn't. I would say not like puzzly, but it did throw me at first because I was so used to playing with Carcassonne. I was like, they all line up nicely. And here I was like, this is odd. Like, it's not corner to corner. I was kind of confused by that
OCD
at first.
kicks in there.
I was like, this is wrong. Like, there's a gap here. I feel like I should fill it, but this one, there's not enough space. It was weird, first game. But it's kind of interesting. I mean, it is kind of puzzly. I think with the ability, like you said, of drafting, in Carcassonne, you're just drawing blindly your tile. So this one, you kind of have a chance to figure out what might work best. And you have the option of buying some, too, which kind of helps.
Yeah. But like I said, this is a gateway game, so it's very accessible to, I think, anybody. I don't think any of the concepts are hard to grasp. The main thing is like that little goof that I made.
Yeah.
Just kind of got to watch for that. And I just moved it down here, so it really didn't come into play with anything.
No.
What do you think?
I like it. It's cool. Pretty much a lot of the same reasons you said. It is kind of Carcassonne-y. It is more of a laid-back game, but I feel like this has a little bit more competition than when we play Carcassonne. Even though you're kind of, like you said, building on the same board in Carcassonne, you're still kind of playing for yourself with points. But this one, it is your own like little Traintopia that you're building, so you're not really interacting with the other players' trains or anything like that.
Yeah, there's really no, I mean, other than hate drafting.
Yeah.
There's no screw your neighbor type of thing in that.
You're
no
more
player
hate
interaction.
drafting because you need a butt. I mean, like, that's the only thing you're like, I really need that. And, like, you could really kind of host someone up with that. Or, like, kind of like what I was doing with the mailbags. I was just trying to grab those whenever I could because I knew that would at least double my finish lines. So I knew that would kind of help me get to more points. But,
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's cool. I like that there's different ways that you can score points immediately. I do like the commuters. And the tourists, I think, are really nice. I really wish I could have bought this one, which I normally end up buying, and it has 4 tourist destinations, and it works really well. Like, if I would have bought that earlier and put it here, I didn't think about it till later in the game, because that, if I could have, like, scored both of those, yeah, it would have worked really well. But it's just one I normally end up using, but I like that. It's kind of a different way of scoring points. I like the two, like, if you don't spend money, this is the first game I've really actually ever used the bullet train for its actual use. Sometimes I just bought them and I was like, well, maybe if I have money left over. I never would, so this was actually the first time it came into play of scoring some points.
Yeah, and I've talked to some other reviewers who have played this, and that's really kind of the big negative about the game is it's a train game, but these little trains are pretty inconsequential. There was basically a packing error, I think, in every copy where you're supposed to have 6 of those, you only get 5. And I know the publisher is working on making that right. I don't know what their plans are right now, but it's never come into play as far as we're concerned, because you're almost always better off spending the money to buy one of the bonus tiles or to change your commuter color, because you just don't get that many points. I guess if you had 4 plus money on there and you put a train down, you're getting 10 points. But I think you're going to get more money by spending those 4 money tokens and doing other things.
Well, the only reason I think it really came into play was because this was on that last track, and once I complete it, I'm like, well, I'm not really going to buy anything. I'm not going to really change a lot because it's already done, so I might as well take the train and at least get a couple points.
Yeah, it was very situational for you.
Yeah. But like you were saying, where coming up where you might not have enough, that was something I thought of at first with these round cards. When you're drawing out of the bag, I was like, oh, what if you don't have enough? Well, you do, but like even if you're taking them out, you're not putting them back in the bag, you're actually taking them out of the game. Yep. So I thought, oh, well, that's kind of odd, because what if you run out? We've never run into that. I don't think that's a problem, especially it's not telling you, hey, you need to have a yellow and a green. So like if you got rid of all those or used them, that's not an issue, because it's whatever you draw.
Yeah, you're not going to run out of the commuters in the
but that
bag.
was just something at first I was like, oh, I don't know how that's going to work. But I mean, it works out.
Yeah, another negative I have are the point tokens.
There's no 5.
1s, 3s, 10s, and 50s. I really wish that there would have been at least a 5 in there. And the tokens are kind of small, and they're kind of, I know they kind of look like a train track on there. I'm not really wild about them. I probably would have wished that they would have just been like squares or circles.
Yeah.
And just had,
I think it is kind of unique, but
have at least a 5.
At least a 5, yeah. The 3 is a little wonky, I feel like, having it be an odd number, because then you're constantly trying to do your change with your 3s and 1s, and then kind of playing around with that.
And that's really a minor thing, because if you don't like these, use something else.
Use a
like
calculator.
Use poker chips.
You need to, yeah.
Something. Write it down on a piece of paper or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is a very minor thing.
But
it works.
The quality, I think, is, like on all the components are good. The finish on the card is nice.
I like the artwork.
I like the little wooden meeple dudes. I think they're pretty cool.
They are really cool.
And even the mailbag.
With them being, they're not like your standard cut meeple, and they are a little bit smaller, which I think is kind of cool. But I do kind of like the artwork how it's a little bit different for each district, just so kind of differentiates that a little bit. And for whatever reason, I've picked up on these things. If you are colorblind or colorly challenged or anything like that, the train stations are a little bit different. So the blues have like 2 stripes, and the red ones have like a slash and a dot.
Yeah.
So just something, I don't know why I pick up on that.
You
but
always
I do.
pick up on that.
I don't know why my brain like looks for that in games though. So I don't know. That's kind of nice if you are colorblind or challenged, anything like that.
Yeah, and like I said, the game has 50 of these normal tiles, and they're fine. We used all but 4.
No, well, we kicked out.
We kicked out a couple, but
3,
I mean, as far
4,
as
5.
Yeah, but
I mean,
basically
depending
we
on
went
the
through
cards.
those. And the quality of the tiles are nice. The artwork is basically the kind of a futuristic looking city on the back. So that looks kind of nice. It's the same artwork that's on the gold cards too. So
the box covers on the round card, so it's kind of just a little bit different.
So if you're looking for a fast gateway game and you like trains, this is definitely a game for you. I really enjoyed it playing.
I think if you're also familiar with Carcassonne, the concept's going to be easy to grasp. It's a little bit different, like we said, but there's enough kind of similarities, especially with the tile placement, that you can kind of get into and maybe add just a little bit more complexity than Carcassonne kind of offers sometimes.
No,
know.
I would say
I
Carcassonne's more
Really?
than this because
See, I
you got
disagree.
farming and all that. Here you
Carcassonne's just a big puzzle, though.
well.
You're kind of working
Yeah.
together, but you're not. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're about the same, I guess.
So I give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yep. So that is Traintopia from Board and Dice, and we will catch you guys next time.
Bye.
If you would like to support us, you can visit patreon.com/dadvdaughter.
Like and follow us on Facebook to stay current on our show schedule, sneak peeks at future shows, and to interact with us.